Okay. Hello. Requires board ID. So this is a restricted area.
What's this I hear about you ordering more tests performed with sample 4157? That backfield.
So maybe we do start sneaking. So we don't want to panic all those people out front. But now that we're in here, maybe there's no people and there's only guards. And a workbench. Workbenches are always good. We are still a good distance away from the old dimethyl sulfoxide. Could we have got a board ID card somewhere? Or is that just always unavailable and therefore leads you to a section like this that's restricted? Do we have the firepower required to one-shot a guard? Central lab. Necropsy lab. Oops. It's going well. Bunch of frozen folks. There's an elevator perhaps. Testing. Okay, that would have been another way through, but then perhaps we can just jump up there. Down. Does this help us? It's taking us up. Don't think that helps us. I think that might have been another way. But that guy's going back over there, so let's have a look. Well, there's an exit. Is this just out of the lab altogether? That door's bad. So maybe, yeah. Maybe this is just leading us back out. Let's check. I do think we need to be downstairs. Okay, yeah, that's leading us back out. Now that we've started sneaking and stealthing through this section, I kind of want to finish by doing that too. We'll shoot if we have to, but now that we're on a stealthy roll, I want to challenge myself to keep it going. Yeah, you turn away. Another guard type. Now they're all guards. One's a robot. Containment. Can we possibly? Or is that going to be impossible? Yep, there's a few people saying huh. Okay. Stealth has failed. So let's blow some heads open. Any more? There we go. Now. Did we kill that worker? Or was that Bavati? Yeah, well, stealth works up to a point. It seems like it just wasn't possible once we got to here. Now, we're in combat still, apparently. Are we? Yeah, we're in combat. Medical drone has just sat there. So I guess it should have been released to attack me, but it hasn't been. And that's where all the dimethyl sulfoxide is being stored. Excellent. So we'll come down these stairs and we should be on it. Right, and there's that door that we were going to escape through before. Jolly good. Do not stare directly at content. Okay. So we've got to release it safely. Okay, so transfer it to canister. That seems a good start. Might result in the death of human test subjects, though. Experiment's integrity and test subject vitality can be maintained by leaving a certain percentage in circulation. Results inconclusive. Prognosis cautiously optimistic. So we're not sure if they're going to survive either way. And if killing a few people here... Like, I feel if we only take a certain amount of the stuff, then we're not going to be able to revive everyone on the Hope. If we kill a few people here to revive everyone on the Hope, I prefer that. So let's take it all. Sorry about that, people in canisters. Yeah. I'm afraid you're all dead. Certain sacrifices must be made. Now let's have it away on our toes before anyone realises what's happened. No, but we can't fast travel because we're apparently near hostiles. Those office clerks are hostile to us, it seems. Wait, is everyone now hostile to us?
Oh good, a fight!
Okay. It's all kicking off. Right. Oops.
What was that?
Yep, you get out.
That's the last of them.
Cool. Well done, everyone. Those office clerks still alive? Yeah. They might not actually be hostile. I'm not sure. Now, did you guys drop anything exciting? Because we could still use some better armor for Max. But it seems like none of you dropped your armor. You just are all dead. Few guns, but we don't need guns. Ooh, standard troop armor. Okay, it's not actually that great. That'll probably be why they were going down like a sack of spuds. Now, back to the ship. Let's go speak to friend Phineas.
You have a message from Adjutant Sophia Akande.
Oh, hello.
No one ever looks quite the same in person as they do in my reports. And my reports of you have been exceptionally thorough. You've had quite a career.
I mean, we're just getting started.
I'm glad to hear that. This may come as a surprise, but I happen to enjoy your work. I've been keeping up with you ever since Emerald Vale. Now that was an interesting piece of work. A rundown backwater, barely worth the ink on a map. Until you showed up. When you cut off power to Edgewater, you saved me a great deal of trouble. Now I don't have to bother trying to save that town. All this happened because some mysterious stranger fell out of the sky.
You almost sound like you approve.
Not always. For the longest time, I could never be sure if you were on our side or against us. You should be back on the Hope, frozen in a hibernation chamber. Yet here you are, flying about in a stolen ship, leaving a trail of paperwork in your wake. The board doesn't know what to make of you. But I do. I've seen your potential. There's so much we can do for this colony.
How do you know I'm from the Hope?
We raised security on the Hope after Wells broke in. As for discovering the identity of the missing colonist, all we had to do was scan the passenger manifest.
Okay, so you wanted to talk to me, so make your offer.
You have something I want. I'd like to negotiate.
I'm listening.
Phineas Wells is wanted by the board. I want to convince you to turn him in to us.
Alright, convince me.
Wells is a dangerous madman. His plan is going to endanger everyone in Halcyon. He's an obsessive psychopath. And he's using you. You're in contact with Wells. I want you to send us a tracing signal from his communication terminal.
You want me to sell him out?
Wells was our mistake. We failed to apprehend him for years. I'm asking you to help me correct that mistake. I'm sending you my access code. Contact me from Wells's terminal. When you're done, come speak to me in my office.
Adjutant Akande's call has been terminated. Will there be anything else, Captain?
Let's get out of here. Right, so obviously we're not doing that. Phineas is our boy.
We've arrived at Phineas's orbital lab.
It was nice to be able to at least talk to her. She's the one you would end up speaking to if you tried to sell him out immediately on the Groundbreaker. But yeah, we got no time for that, Gubbins. Mr. Wells, sir.
I've kept myself busy in your absence, optimized my formula. I'm now confident I can revive the remaining colonists.
Good.
All I need now is the dimethyl sulfoxide. I'll take as much as you can give me.
I mean, forget about the chemicals for a second, because the colony is on the verge of collapse.
What? Oh, yes, well, that's obvious. Anyone with 2 working labs can see this colony's slouching toward oblivion. Why do you think we've been doing all this? I revived you to help me save Halcyon from annihilation.
I mean, the chairman's planning on freezing every worker in Halcyon.
Oh, hold on. Let me see if I understand this correctly. You're saying that Halcyon's on the brink of total collapse? And the chairman's plan to save all of us is to save himself?
Pretty much.
I always knew Halcyon was heading toward a systems collapse, but I never imagined we were already there. The board made this crisis, and now they want to solve it by freezing the rest of us?
Yep.
That's not a plan. That's a goddamn escape clause. That makes 2 things we don't have. Time and chemicals to revive the other settlers.
One thing we don't have.
None of this
I've
was
got the
supposed to
chemicals.
happen. I was supposed to revive the Hope's colonists. We were supposed to have enough time to solve the problem before we all starved.
Well, we got the chemicals anyway. They were being tested on people.
Human test subjects? Oh, that's grotesque. That's unthinkable. That's exactly what I'd expect out of the board.
So yeah, we had to let the test subjects die, but we got back all the chemicals.
Thank you. You've brought me enough chemicals to get started, at least. I'm just sorry they came at the cost of human lives. Those poor people, they must have died in agony. What exactly was the board trying to accomplish?
Trying to mitigate damage to human tissue during the revival process.
You say the board's trying to freeze their subjects over and over again without inflicting permanent damage? Well, they're nowhere close to solving that problem. I'll tell you this much. The board scientists are hopelessly lost. After years of fruitless experimentation, they've made exactly 0 progress.
Right, so yeah, let's focus, Phineas. Halcyon's going to collapse unless we save the day.
We're out of time. We're out of chemicals. We may very well be out of options. If the board has their way, we're all going to be spending the rest of our lives frozen in stasis. Do you realize what this means for the Hope? For your fellow colonists? The board's going to kill them all. Toss them out into space, just to make room in their hibernation chambers.
That's a good point. So, must be something we can do.
Short of lining up every member of the board and shooting them in the back of the head.
I'm okay with that option.
Do you know what's waiting for us on the Hope? Scientists, engineers, artists, the brightest minds Earth ever sent us, uncorrupted by the board. The board's going to dispose of them all and transform the Hope into a prison for the rest of us. They're likely on their way to the Hope as we speak. We need to get to those colonists before the board. I have enough chemicals to start reviving a few of them, but no easy way to get them off the Hope.
I mean, there's a way. It's not entirely safe, but we could skip the Hope into the system.
Merciful gibbering law, you're a genius!
I try.
We bring the Hope to us. Skip the entire ship across the distance of colony space, right next to my lab.
It's probably damaged though, so we'd have to route power from the Unreliable.
Yes, exactly. You're a step ahead of me, but I perceive the shape of your plan. If we link up the Hope to the Unreliable, then use your navigational computer to calculate a reasonably safe vector, we can skip the entire colony ship into the rings of Terra 2.
I don't know much about skip drives, not the physics anyhow. I do know the Hope's real massive. How's our bitty little ship supposed to skip it?
Excellent question, my sharp-witted mechanic. You will use your own ship to power up the Hope's skip drive. Your navigational computer can handle the rest.
Yeah, Ada can certainly handle that.
And that's going to work, without killing us in the process. I thought intra-system microjumps were prohibited for a reason.
Yes, there's always a risk of a catastrophic collision between the Hope and, say, Terra 2, in theory. But you'll be fine, provided your calculations are correct.
I'm sure they'll be fine.
You'll need to switch on the Hope's auxiliary power using the Unreliable. Then head to the bridge. Your navigational computer, Ada, should be able to activate the Hope skip drive. Once you've skipped the Hope next to my lab, I'll have easy access to the frozen colonists. I can start reviving them immediately.
I'll do it.
I know you're wondering why I'm doing all this. Why I believe the people on the Hope are the answer to the colony's problems. The Hope is carrying some of humanity's most brilliant thinkers. Scientists, engineers, experts in their field. If we work together, we can still find a way to save Halcyon. The board would have us believe Halcyon is beyond saving. I choose to believe otherwise. If there's even the slightest chance we can save Halcyon from oblivion, then we have to take it.
That's the spirit. And yeah, the adjutant asked me to plant a tracking signal in your lab, but fuck that noise.
You absolutely should.
What? I can't tell if you're being sarcastic.
Sarcasm, the last refuge of the witless. The adjutant must have sent you some kind of tracking code. If you don't use the code, she'll suspect you betrayed her.
Yeah.
I think you should use the code and send a corrupted tracking signal. That should buy me some time.
That's using your ass. I'll take care of it.
Use my communications terminal to corrupt the tracking signal. While the board busies themselves trying to decipher it, I'll have plenty of time to prepare my defenses.
I'll be back. And we've leveled up. Jolly good. Now, where can we find that terminal? Is it this one? Let's see. Experimental notes are on here. Sisty Pig notes. So that's probably not the terminal that we were looking for. Maybe it's this one over here. Send corrupted tracking signal. Excellent.
That should do it. You've bought me more than enough time.
Yay. Now, level ups. Do we keep working on lockpicking? It's technically over 100, but... Or do we work on hacking? Hack also mechanicals to turn them off. Reduce their detection range. So it would allow us to hack into more stuff, but let's keep going with lockpicking for now. And back to the Unreliable. So we might have another message now from Sophia.
You have a message from Adjutant Sophia Akande.
I'm impressed, Captain. I almost expected you wouldn't go through with it. Unfortunately, Dr. Wells found a way to corrupt the signal before we could pinpoint his location. Still, it's only a matter of time before we find him. Come visit me in Byzantium. We need to have a talk about the future of this colony.
I'll be there. So there we go. We've now got access to that landing pad I mentioned. So if you sell out Phineas nice and early, then you get to come straight here. And we might be about to get the mission that you get offered as well. Let's see. So we can just walk straight through. What do you mean not so fast? We're allowed.
All right, you're clear. The adjutant's expecting.
Yeah, whatever. And then this takes us, I think, back to Percival's office, pretty much. Lovely. Hello.
I understand you're Maverick Johnston's new star. Well done.
What exactly do you do here?
Personal assistant to Adjutant Akande and Chairman Rockwell. I'm also responsible for organizing the Adjutant's stationery, which is more of a hobby.
Of course.
The art of arranging stationery is a never-ending source of joy and satisfaction. Will there be anything else?
No, probably not. So, Are we allowed to just waltz straight into her room or something like that? Should probably select the correct quest. Aha. Here she is. Hello.
I admit part of me expected you to stand by your old friend. For better or worse, Wells was responsible for putting you back on your feet. That said, he's also a wanted criminal.
Exactly.
For information regarding his whereabouts, you are entitled to collect a reward from Percival.
Yes, good. I've been meaning to turn him in.
You'll find that working for the board is spiritually and financially gainful. But that isn't why I asked you here. I understand you've infiltrated the Ministry. The things you discovered there must have been shocking, even disturbing. Halcyon is on the verge of a total systems collapse. The truth is ugly and difficult to accept, but we must accept the truth before we can move forward. Malnutrition is already a problem. Disease will come next, followed by starvation, followed by a breakdown of society, followed by extinction. I know this must come as a surprise to you. I imagine you have questions.
The powerful make the mistakes, and the powerless are left paying the price, as it has always been. Tell me, Adjutant, have you anything to offer beyond the usual false platitudes?
I'm offering decisive action, Vicar DeSoto. I can no longer depend on lazy, weak-willed bureaucrats to help me rescue Halcyon. I need someone with a backbone, someone like your captain.
Yeah.
Is that why we were suffering plague in Edgewater? Malnutrition? All those folks sick and dying, and you knew why the whole time?
Yes, Miss Holcomb, we knew why. We've known for some time that Edgewater was dying. The colony itself is dying. The suffering you experienced in Edgewater, the disease, the starvation, will soon spread across Halcyon unless we act. I won't pretend the truth isn't damning. Yes, the colony is on the verge of collapse. But there is a way to save it.
Tell me what you need done.
We need to talk about Emerald Vale. Thanks to your meddling, Edgewater is without power.
Yep.
Operations have ground to a halt. You've left us with a useless town draining our resources.
That's me.
Edgewater needs to go. I want you to wipe the town out. No survivors.
I cannot condone this plan. Wanton, senseless destruction of life is never the solution.
I don't need you to approve of my plan, Vicar. I need you to get it done.
You're a monster.
Someone has to be. Now is not the time for half measures, Captain. I need a decision from you.
We could say that she's insane. What did Edgewater do to deserve this?
When you diverted power to the Botanical Lab, you spelled the end of Edgewater. But the town is still hanging on, still living off whatever meager resources we send them. With every passing day, Edgewater leeches more of our limited resources. The town is a rotting limb, and we must be surgeons.
We're talking about human lives here, though, Sophia.
Edgewater's workers consume 6 times as many resources as they produce. The best thing that town can do for its colony is to die. I'm not asking you to be a murderer. I'm asking you to be a surgeon. Edgewater is a necrotic limb on the body of the colony. It must be severed.
The answer is no.
Don't make this more difficult than it needs to be, Captain. I rather like you, and I'd hate to have you shot for disobeying a direct order.
Go to hell, Sophia.
I'm disappointed. I was so sure you had potential.
Incoming!
Well, I guess things haven't really worked out then. Are you going to poke your head around? Oh, thinking about it. Let's have a quick reload. We got time. Lovely. You guys going to clean up the rest? Oh, even Percival got involved. Oh, we never spoke to him to get a reward. Oh well. We'll take Sophia's 6 bits. Purple-berry munch. We should probably pop back and check on Edgewater. Just make sure nothing untoward is occurring over there. So if we go downstairs now, are we just going to get swarmed by guards? If we go out back, are we going to get swarmed by guards? It's not really a problem. I mean, we'll just shoot them all. Yeah, we're looking hostile.
Here we go!
And yeah, here we go. Bam, you get a headshot. You get a headshot, maybe? I mean, for that is flamethrower. It's just going to mince these dudes.
Well done.
Yeah,
We're still alive.
a little bit loosing laser, and we're overweight again. Of course we are. 86 armor on that light helmet. That's insane. I should have given that to Max a while ago, probably. 29. Yeah. And how are we looking for guns? We got way too much crap that we don't need. I'll deal with that on the ship.
Here they come!
Oh, here they come. Who's coming? Okay. They did indeed come. Didn't work out well for them. It's very dark. How does one get back up to one's ship? There we go. There's a ramp.
Sending a corrupted tracking signal to the board was quite clever, if I might say, Captain.
I mean, it wasn't my idea. It was Phineas, but yeah, I'll take the credit. Thanks, Ada. Now, shall we bob back and just see what's going on
We are
in
now in
Edgewater?
orbit above Edgewater, Captain.
Let's make sure everything's alright. Ludwig?
Town's been dark a while now. Could be a mechanical trying to sabotage us.
Probably. That's what they do. Now, let's go make sure there's no mechanicals stomping around town, causing trouble for everyone. It looks like we've avoided that fate. Everyone seems to be doing just fine. Just standing. There's not a lot to do in town anymore, so they'll just stand outside the cannery.
Got my hands full at the moment. Make it quick, please.
I'm looking for work, Reyes.
Hell of a time to start looking for work. Lucky for you, I am authorized to hire freelancers even during times of crisis. Know how to carry yourself in a fight? I've got bounties out for these 3 marauders. Cross them off and bring me their fingers. Just 1 per marauder, please. I'll dust off the old fingerprint roller.
Huh. I didn't realize you could still pick up that quest. Even now. Well, it'd be rude not to do it now that it's in our inventory. Inventory? Quest log. Words. They're difficult sometimes. Is everything alright over here? Looks like it. Yep, looks like everyone's chilling. So it's all good at the lab. You keeping an eye on things, Grace? Jolly good. One of these is in a pain in the butt position up a hill somewhere, aren't they? Oops. So yeah, it always took me a while to find how to get up to this cave to deal with this one. But there's probably a more sensible way, in fact, but I just parkour it. It seems to work out. It always seems to be strange as well, because every time I've done this quest, 2 of the marauders that we're looking for have had other people just sort of hanging out with them. And then the 3rd one hasn't. But it's been different every time. Like, sometimes I'll come up to this cave and it's only got the named marauder in it. Or sometimes there'll be a whole gang here and then I'll go to the one in the abandoned part of town and that one will just have a guy by himself. I don't know why they've chosen to only have 2 of the 3 have people with them.
Easy does it.
And what decides which one is on their own. But it's not Doc Maybell today. She has got people with her. She's behind that rock, I think. I mean, you could just march in, couldn't we? We don't need to be subtle when we're dealing with this lot. Hey.
That one's done for.
Right, I'll stop Maybell taken care of. Or is it? Was that a Marauder Vandal? Did I leave Doc to the crew? Blood on stick. The deadliest weapon. Now the next one is over near the abandoned town, so none of them are very close to checkpoints as such. But we can save a bit of time by jumping to the power plant. There's one to the south here. Bertie Cotton. Might be some primals in the way, but nothing we can't handle.
We can handle
Over
this.
quickly.
This one down here can be a right pain in the butt at lower levels, but yeah, at this point in time, not so much. Now he climbs up his ladder and then he goes and sits at his little spot, but we're not going to allow him to do that today. And he's also got people with him.
Here we go.
So yeah, get to it, crew.
We're pretty good at this.
We are pretty good at this. And then final one is a little way away, so let's go to the community centre. That guy was not expecting his dog to suddenly just explode in front of him. Bit of a shit way to start the day. But there we go. And here's Gwilaine. And if it's like the previous times I've done this mission, then he is going to be on his own. It can be helpful if this is the guy who's on his own for you. And you've got the quest to come in here and find the deserter from the botanical labs. Because then you've just got to kill one dude. And then job's a good one.
Down they go.
And there we go. We are full of fingers. Obviously that quest is usually a bit more engaging at lower levels, but it was good fun nonetheless. What's up, Rares?
Got my hands full at the moment. Make it quick, please.
Got your fingers.
We pay by the finger. What do you have for me?
We have Gwilaine's finger.
Gil Antrim. Real name, Guillaume. Duly processed by a freelancer on behalf of Spacer's Choice. I remember him. I was just a kid last I saw him. Shame. I'll just need your signature here, 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 and here. Got any more fingers for me?
Yeah, we got Doc Maybells.
Mabel Burgess. Age 37. Right or left-handed? Let's just say no longer applicable. I remember Doc Burgess. Conducted my physical every fiscal quarter. Guess she couldn't keep her hands off her patient's medicine. Still one outstanding bounty. If you've got a finger, I've got the paperwork.
Yeah, we do. It's Bertie Cotton's.
Here we are. Bertie Cotton. Cause of death. Let's just say overwhelming physical trauma.
Sounds about right.
Bert was the local preacher before Max took over. Always was quick to remind us that we all get what we deserve in the end. Well, that's all three. I must remember to requisition some more fingerprint ink. Here's all the compensation you've earned, plus a bonus.
Nice. Junior Deputy Constable.
You've done such a bang-up job hunting down our former workers that I thought it only proper to deputize you. Congratulations.
And how did so many of your people end up Marauders?
Let me stop you there. It is official Spacer's Choice policy that all Marauders, regardless of prior affiliation to the Spacer's Choice brand, no longer qualify as our people.
Fair enough. But how did they all end up Marauders?
Marauders are folk who lost the will to keep working, wandered out into the wilds and gave into their baser instincts. Not everyone's cut out to work in Edgewater. Some turn deserter, some turn marauder. None of them get my sympathy.
They do seem to like Adrenatime.
Everybody likes Adrenatime. It is the finest medical drug ever developed by Spacer's Choice. Much better than that crap anti-Cleo pedals. Sure, a little too much Adrenatime can bring out the violent animal in you, but if overdosing on Adrenatime turns you into a lunatic, you have only yourself to blame. Says so right on the warning label. Violent psychosis is a well-documented and legally accounted for side effect of Adrenatime.
And then we got to learn more about that during Paralon Gorgon. Thanks, Reyes. Okay, that's that little side diversion out of the way. Now, Landing our ship in the Hope's docking bays feels like it might be the final quest. So maybe it's time to travel to Eridanos and see about Halcyon Helen and find out who killed her. That's assuming she's even dead. It could be a twisty little quest.